Hello again, yes it is I, the conspicuous Moo. And we have had a few brewmaster changes in the latest beta patch, so we will go over them. Some of them are okay, some of them are incomprehensible, and some of them are just dreadful. Let's get cracking. First of all, hallelujah, Breath of Fire has finally gotten a buff. It's not a big buff, but we'll definitely take it. This is basically an increase by 10% to the attack power component. So this will make the initial application stronger, and then the dot has been slightly buffed as well. Not very much, but you know, we'll take any additional damage we can get at this point. This is a good beginning, but it's not really anything to get too giddy about. I mean, we're talking in terms of actual overall damage. You know, it was about 3–3.5% on most logs. And on the logs I've been seeing at the moment, they're between 4 and 4.5, so, you know, it's like it's gone from utterly rubbish to slightly less utterly rubbish. So, good start, Blizzard, but keep ticking it up a bit, could you? Thanks. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get the impression that, you know, the person in charge of the Night Fae Covenant design obviously hit a deer and wrote off his car or something, because he has gone and nerfed Faeline Stomp again, and this one is pretty brutal. So the initial damage, which was one of the attractive aspects of this in the first place, has been taken from 91% of attack power to 40%. So that's 44% of what it was. Ouch. The healing component is still at 91%, and you know, the heal is nice. It's not very large. You know, it will heal allies. It does about 7% of your overall healing. But you know, it's nothing spectacular. You're not going to be brought to content for your amazing Faeline Stomp healing ability. One of the more interesting changes that they made to Faeline Stomp is that enemies now caught within the Faeline at a maximum of 5, because we're going to have that target cap. Stagger will be 5% more effective for 8 seconds. Of course, it will be up more often than that, because you have a chance to reset the cooldown of Faeline Stomp while fighting on it. So, you know, that is a defensive component which is far more potent than the heal is. It's basically a change of emphasis. You know, the original Faeline Stomp was a lot of nature damage splashed out in front. How do you like that? No defensive benefits whatsoever, a chance to reset. And they've now turned it around to having low damage, like as low as Breath of Fire's initial application damage. But they've added additional defensive benefits into it. So, I don't know, this isn't really the way I wanted Faeline Stomp to go. I wanted it to be that pretty nature damage nuke. Well, not a nuke, a small grenade lobbed in their general direction. But by way of compensation, they have buffed the way of the Fae Potency Conduit. So this will now increase the initial damage of Faeline Stomp by 10.5% per target hit by that damage. It's important to bear in mind that even with this buff, which they've, you know, essentially doubled, even a level 15 conduit is going to be less than 70% of the damage that Faeline Stomp was originally doing before this nerf came in. So, you know, basically, those of you who want the original Faeline Stomp, it's gone. And no amount of conduits are going to bring it back to its former glories. If you want the additional stagger now, sure. If you want a middling heal, which is about 1k, 1.25k, something like that per person, then sure, you can take Faeline Stomp. But this makes it fall even further behind the other 3 covenants, which is just incomprehensible to me. And so, Weapons of Order had a couple of changes as well. This is, of course, the Kyrian ability. Now, the enemies being hit by Keg Smash will take 8% additional damage, and it was 5%, so that's very nice. And the actual window that you can do that damage in has been increased to 10 seconds from 8 seconds. The stacks have been reduced to 4. That's probably because of the increased damage. This is actually addressing a problem that a lot of people were experiencing on the beta, where you couldn't... It was rather difficult to maintain the stacks, because if you had a low haste levels, you know, Keg Smash by itself is 8 seconds at 0% haste, and you could only take increased damage for 8 seconds, so things would get a little tight when you were trying to refresh the stack. So now they have made this change, and I think it's probably a good one. It's going to make it easier to use, and it's going to be a little bit stronger. So yes, overall, well done. Well done. Astonishingly, Bonedust Brew has gotten more buffs. I don't know what it is about this ability, but you know, they really are pointing us in this general direction. This, you know, Bonedust Brew, for the record, it's the Necrolord ability that you get. It's on a 60-second cooldown. It is reducible by brew usage, so you know, Cake Smash, Tiger Palm. If you use Rushing Jade Wind with this procs almost constantly. And the proc rate's been increased from 35% to 50%, and you know, if you add the Conduit on top of this, you know, this is a very, very good ability, and they've made it even stronger. And so, okay, yes, you know, Mythic Plus wise at the moment, you know, this is probably one of your best choices. It's pulling way ahead, and you know, it's only going to get further ahead now after, you know, this latest buff, because it has no internal cooldown. And that's where the miracle of Russian Jade Wind comes in and just... So yeah, I don't know why I needed a buff, but okay. So that's it so far. I mean, there's you know, some major Covenant ones. They didn't touch the Venthir one this week. I think they did quite enough damage to it last week. Yeah, I just don't understand where they're going with the Night Fae one. They seem determined to turn us away from it. I will not be deterred. And you know, there was some other news. There's a website that's come up with a measuring tool for, you know, how often tanks are being used in pre-patch, and Brewmaster is up on sort of Mythic 15s and Mythic 25s, which are the metrics they were going by. I think we were 4th on the Mythic 15s in terms of usability, and we were 2nd on the 25 plus. I guess there's real strength in stagger, and being very difficult to be one-shot in most situations makes us entirely more attractive for those really, really high keys. And you know, Eye of the Tiger got a tooltip update, so you know, that wasn't very exciting. It was telling us it's limited to one target, which is something we've known for years, but they've just gotten around to updating the tooltips. There are a couple more you can do. I've got to be honest, I'm really not excited about Shadowlands at all. I'm going to try, because you know, we have our release date, November 23rd. That's not a lot of additional time that they've bought themselves there. But you know, there's a lot of things which I think are going to irritate me. You know, the Covenants, Night Fae have been kicked in the face repeatedly. You know, Soulbinds that have been nerfed to the point where they have minimal impact. Our Conduits is still dreadful. I mean, I'm still seeing people persisting with Evasive Stride, and I'm not sure why. Bless their souls, but you know, the logs don't lie. You know, that Conduit is now just terrible. We still have world quests, but you know, now they're larger and they take longer, and that's somehow a good thing. You know, the chores of, you know, okay, get this renown, okay, you're done. Now go and get this anima, okay, you're done. Now you need some Stygia, okay, I'll go and get the Stygia. It doesn't sound like very engaging gameplay to me, and you know, from what I've heard about them all, it's not very good. I'm sure it'll look and sound amazing. It's just, you know, it's the whole thing, and then Sylvana's bloody Windrunner on top of it. It's just it's not causing me any great excitement here. To be honest, I'm still having much more fun in Classic. I'm going to be tanking Scarlet Monastery tonight. The Cathedral. Should be great. Anyway, enough of this damn talking. We'll have a Celestial Brew and cheer up a bit. I'm sure things will turn around. We do still have a little time left for them to make some changes. Please, give Night Fae some love. I am the conspicuous Moo, and a very good afternoon to you.